Um, Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Get Savvy podcast with Monica Adwani, our CEO at Savvital, myself, Troy Thompson, president. And today we have a wonderful guest who is the Chief Operations Officer at the Big Eye of Minnesota, April Goodin. We are thrilled to have her on the show. She is an amazing person and business person, and personally, Pinnacle Insurance is part of the Big Eye of Minnesota. But let's let April introduce yourself a little bit and tell us how'd you get into insurance and what do you have cooking over at the Big Eye of Minnesota?
Well, there's always lots cooking at the Big Eye, Minnesota. I can just put that out there right there, right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will start with just my introduction. I'm April Goodin. I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at the Big Eye, Minnesota. I have been working with the independent agent industry for about 27, 28 years. Funny thing is, I started with the PIA years and years ago, back in 1989. And during that time when I was there, we actually merged the PIA and the Big Eye together, which is a very interesting process. But two groups that serve the same communities, and we decided to get together. So that was kind of a big deal back then. That was in 1991, I think it was. But I have gotten to know these independent agents over all these years, and they're good friends of mine. I enjoy supporting them. I worked in the education role. I started as a receptionist, crazy, and
Yeah.
then have kind of just moved my way up through the company over all these years, and that's how I got to where I am now.
Yeah, and it's a fun organization. The people you work with, the staff. Dan is hilarious, and Amy and Keith and everybody there.
We have a really good team.
You really, really do. Even Alina does pretty good too.
Alina's fabulous.
But yeah, what we're experiencing as independent insurance agency owners in Minnesota and all across the country right now is a hardening market with massive challenges with hiring, with inflation, with rate increases, with requoting, and a whole host massive, rate increases and a whole host of challenges and stuff. How could a independent agency benefit from being part of the Big Eye?
I think one of the major benefits, and it's been kind of a mainstay for us, is having a dedicated lobbyist that we contract with. And she has connections to the legislative representative. She has connections with the Department of Commerce. Um, what happens is when bad legislation kind of comes down the pike, she's there, and we can gather who we need to gather, talk to the right people, make a difference, do some education with the Department of Commerce to stop things like that from happening. So anything that's going to impede the independent agency owners' way of doing
Yeah,
business, right? But when you talk about the hard markets and things like that, and the inflation and everything, that's a whole nother realm where what happens when you're a member in the Big Eye, Minnesota, or any other state, you also are a member of the national organization, and they have a huge staff that focuses on different areas of the independent agency system. And they're constantly putting out articles and things. They have tools that agents can use to kind of help them. Just recently, there was a magazine article that came out, and it said, how do you talk to your customers about this rate, the rise in the homeowners rates and things like that. Um, and kind of a related issue is the increase in roof replacement costs. It's crazy, and I
yeah,
don't know if you're probably experiencing it too, Troy, but a lot of our
100%.
members are having big issues with that, and that's something else that we did get a chance to meet with the Department of Commerce on recently.
I've got a good question for you, April.
Yeah,
With how about the matching thing? Because that is so frustrating to me as an insurance agent, where the contractors oftentimes say it's a state law, they can't match one side of your siding that gets damaged, they have to replace all four sides. Is that something that you've dabbled in and looked into?
Not directly, just because every single carrier has
Mhm.
different policies, and so um, I know it's an issue for some people, and I don't know that there's actual legislation where you can, require that they don't do that. I know replacement costs has been discussed many times for over many years. So I don't know what the solution is going to be, but I think we need to start somewhere. And I know that storm chasers is another huge issue, and lots of misinformation's out there for the consumers. And focusing on the consumer side of it seems to push us a little bit further. Um, to get better legislation or better rules in place with the department if we focus on how it's affecting the consumers. They're going to have increased costs. There's these people that are swarming in their neighborhoods and saying, hey, you have damage, and then they sign something and then they're stuck, and then they just kind of get
Yeah. But it's
backwards.
not always the consumer's fault. Like, I think they're guilty sometimes of, they get excited now. Being in Minnesota, they're used to hail. They're like, ooh, let me pull my cars out into the driveway because hail's coming. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
Why do you want to go through this? They're not going to, they think they're going to put money in their pocket. And sadly, sometimes they're able to with crooked contractors and stuff, like on hail damage and so forth, where they absorb the
right.
deductibles and even do more things for the customers. But
Yeah,
bottom
or
line,
let's wait for a storm before I get my roof replaced.
yeah, it's
You
not
know,
meant to be a maintenance
That's
policy.
a classic one.
yeah, that that's tough too. I mean, and I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying. So, I mean, there's lots of issues that need to be addressed in that area, just like telematics with driving. You know,
Hmm.
that's something else that is coming down the way. So,
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I
And
think
that
that,
is, it's going to be driving a lot of rate changes, unfortunately. So most of the cars right now, like you don't even need the telematics piece. Like they just get the data directly from the car,
yeah,
from the computer of the car. So it's slowly changing, but I guess we just, like you said, we just have to get prepared for it. So how are we preparing agents? Education. What resources are out there? What tools are out there that you guys are providing for them to
oh, I have a
continue
good
to
one, but I'm
experience
gonna let
their
April.
growth?
I've got a great one that we're taking advantage of, but I'll let April go first.
yeah. Um, for almost 50 years now, we've been offering the designation programs through the National Alliance, and we're the only provider here in the state of Minnesota for those programs. That I think that program is probably one of the reasons why the insurance agents in Minnesota are so successful and professional, and the carriers want to do business here because we've been training them for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So these classes are high caliber. They're recognized all over the U.S. The CIC, CISR, CSRM, CRM. They've got more than I can remember right now, but Amy and Alina work together to get those programs out, whether it's in person or online, which has become so much more popular since COVID. So agents have the ability to choose how they want to learn, what works best for them, what's going to save them the most money, and how can they get the best out of what they're attending. And it's not just the designation programs, but there's other things too. We offer our members free ethics program every month. We have errors and omissions prevention courses every month as well. Those are important because if you have an E&O loss or maybe even a cyber event, you could lose your agency, especially
Oh,
those cyber events. It's just horrible how much.
devastating.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's a good point. How important? I mean, I know you say I don't have any special designations, and maybe I should, but we do really well without them. But would I do that much better if I had my CIC, April?
Well, that's a great question, Troy, and I would ask all of our members that question, and I think you might get different answers. I guess back in the day, it used to be a place where everybody could network, and that was a huge part of it. And then you just felt accomplishment once you finish that designation. It's a really, especially CIC, it's really tough. It's been a handwritten test forever.
Still is
I think they
handwritten?
are. I think it's slowly changing. Amy knows more than I do about the updates and how things are working, but
I am not a handwritten test guy. Give me multiple choice. I love those.
I know. Yeah. Oops, I forgot to put D&D on my phone. Hold on 1 second.
No
Sorry.
problem. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, here in Massachusetts at least it's on a computer. We use Pometrics, and still, but there's still a lot of tests that are still. You gotta spend the hour and a half after the course doing the test. Circling all the multiple choices or writing the essay.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought with your question, Troy.
Oh, I was just talking about the CIC and is it worth it, and then the test.
Yeah. I don't know if designations are as important now as they were in the past, but I still believe that the information that you're learning from these classes, whether or not you continue and take all of them, is really valuable. It makes you a better agent. People don't learn these things in their licensing classes, and it just shows that you're trying to be professional. You're trying to be the best you can be for your customers.
And even if they don't care about it, it kind of dovetails on what you're talking about earlier with E&O losses and certain things like that. If you're doing it the right way,
right,
you're going to be more insulated and be able to protect yourself. One thing that Pinnacle takes advantage of, though, is Career Plug as well, which is a service to put out a job available, an available job, and it goes out to many vendors, and it has a lot of great features. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, that it's kind of a newer tool that we've gotten into to help people with this hiring crisis, trying to get the best tools out there to make sure that you guys can get the professionals that you need in your office. But Career Plug is something that you log in, you set up your account. It's very easy to do. They have people to help you through it if you don't get quite how to use it. They have videos to walk you through it, but you just set up your account, you post your job, and that if you upgrade to the I don't know what it is. It's just an upgraded account, which you get a member discount on that too. You have that job posted to, I think it's 14 to 17 different job sites, all at the same time. You only have to do it one time, and the cost saving is huge because I think it's maybe $100 to get the upgrade, and you could post a job on Indeed for $300, $400, $500. Right?
I agree with you 100%. In fact, I tried to get into Career Plug this was like 5-6 years ago, and State Farm had the exclusivity on it, so they wouldn't even talk to me after I went through a demo, and they're like, "Oh no, can't work with you."
Yeah.
So if State Farm used it, obviously it's a good program, right?
Yeah, and it tracks everything for you. It helps you, like if you don't know how to write a job description, there's pre-made descriptions in there. If you want to use them, you can tweak them however you'd like, brand it to be your own. It can track how, have you had an interview with this person? Have they moved along the track? Are they getting closer to the hire button at the end? So yeah, it's really nice to kind of help you weed through all of that.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives you also a couple different assessments and stuff like that you can actually send before or with the application, right? So if they try to apply, they can do the so you don't have to play that game of back and forth, like let me send you now this or let me, like you can make the decision, do I move to the second phase based on everything that they have done the first time around, which is really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this other thing on the website, Ask an Expert. That looks amazing.
It is amazing. And, a lot of people don't utilize it. So that's something that's through our national organization too. You log in as a member, you get in there. And if you're if you have a question that's, about maybe it's a policy, maybe it's even a legal question, anything you have, you enter that in there, and they have a bunch of different experts throughout the country. They look at your question, and I think it's within 24 hours, someone will get back to you or direct you to another article that has already been written on that question.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is. There's
The
like
virtual
18,000.
university. Why am I just
Yeah,
learning about this now? This looks.
I know. It's awesome. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. It's like one of those best kept secrets, the virtual university.
Yeah, it is.
I think they have 18,000 pages of content and just anything.
Yeah.
Talent recruitment
That's
and
pretty awesome.
hiring. I'm going to
Yeah.
spend a lot of time digging through here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know one of the things that we wanted to chat briefly about was you have Alina there working with you, and a lot of who is part of Savvital as well. And do you mind kind of talking a little bit of what she helps the big eye with?
I will. Yeah. We love Alina. She's our rock star here in the office. Even though she's not in the office, she's that's 7,000 miles away in Pakistan. But she participates in our weekly staff meetings, and we talk about everything association, and she gives her input. But her main focus is really to support Amy Rouse, our education director, and Alina supports her with all the backroom education processing and everything that we do. That's her main focus. And then she also is really helpful with our social media. Social media is, one of those necessary evils. I think that's how the agencies look at it, because they're like, oh, do I have to do social media? Well, yeah, you probably do. Get your name out there.
Yeah.
So, and especially for the agencies, it's maybe not quite as important for the association, but for the agencies, and if they're going to do it, we should do it too. So Alina helps us do all that and just keep us on track, and comes up with the ideas, and we just kind of review it. We give her ideas. It's been awesome to have her in charge of that.
I
We
was
love it.
thinking that's a great thing, and I was wondering. I've seen some really good posts, and I was like, is that Alina doing that? But yeah, that's wonderful. And how about talking to like other independent agencies who are considering it, but they're a little afraid because they're not licensed? That's always one of the number one things that we encounter.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like other agencies taking a chance on a virtual professional, April?
I just really think that they don't realize how easy it is, and they don't realize how much time this person can save them.
Right.
The huge thing for us, and it would be the same for an independent agency, is that you will have time to focus on the things that you need to focus on, rather than doing I don't want to say they're mundane tasks, but they kind of are. But you need a professional who's smart and has a college degree and knows what they're doing to complete them, even though they may not be licensed. So I just think there's so many things in the agency that they don't realize that they can have somebody else take care of, and they can focus on their customers.
100%. And that's what we try to let them know too. Let them take away the stuff that you don't have to be licensed for, which is 70% of what you do inside of an agency.
Right.
Somebody that's not licensed can do, which helps you focus on that 30%, which is the selling, asking for referrals, all that stuff which you need the license for. So
yeah, and I know you guys have a really nice list of things, because sometimes the agencies they struggle to figure out what those tasks might be.
Yeah, there's a lot more than people out there might realize.
And I know that we even kind of checked into the implications that might happen with having a virtual professional with our provider, and we made sure that the things that you have on your list are definitely safe for this person to do, and won't have any adverse effects on the
Yep, we definitely that was a fun meeting. That was like an hour-long meeting. We had some pizza and went through everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That was a really fun time, though.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How do you think other, maybe other big eyes too can benefit from utilizing, you know, just virtual professionals overall? I think, sometimes we've been doing a certain model for so long that we think that everything needs to be done by someone that it's been around for 30 years and it needs to be
Right.
from that state. So what do you think, and how do you think the industry can take advantage of these type of workforce that it's available out there now?
I think the word is getting out, Monica. I think there are a few other states that are using virtual professionals in the associations and passing along that information to their members as well. And, COVID kind of brought this about.
Yeah.
It just brought the awareness to the forefront, and, the big eyes just need to talk more about it to their members. That's our biggest challenge, is getting the information out to the members, letting them know what we can do for them, what tools do we have to assist. And one of the reasons we hired Alina is so that we can get somebody out in the agencies talking about what we do, because they don't read the emails like they used to. So
emails are like white noise now, aren't they?
Aren't they? Yeah, it's just like delete.
And you guys do send out is it a week or a monthly magazine?
There's a monthly newsletter, and then there's a quarterly magazine.
Quarterly magazine.
It's a little more beefy.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
The newsletter doesn't come out though in hard format, does it? Does it get mailed?
No,
out?
it doesn't get mailed.
Because I think snail mail is making a comeback too, to get stuff in people's hands that they can page through, because a lot of those emails get just lost in the shuffle, right?
Yeah.
And then
does your agency send snail mail?
Yeah, I mean, we send out we do a lot of cool things. We send out, when somebody's a new customer, we'll send them a t-shirt.
The $2 bill for renewal.
$2 bill in the mail, handwritten on their birthday. The $2 bill is a big hit, because what is worth more? Some people might think a $2 bill is worth twice as much as a $1 bill, right?
Yeah.
Literally, but it's actually worth 10 times more, I think, because nobody sees a $2 bill.
Right.
They talk about it all the time, and they save them and give them to their grandkids. Yeah, all kinds of unique things, and
tuck them in their safety deposit box.
There we go, old school style. But so we do some snail mail stuff. I think that would be a great idea to get more into the sending out a physical, simple newsletter.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
I know our national organization does send it out to all the members. The magazine that they do, and that one's more often. I think that one is a monthly publication throughout the country.
One thing that isn't super necessary though is how we get the magazine for like 10 people sent to our office, and it's like, we don't need 10 magazines because I know
yeah.
You know how it is.
I do know how that
is. Another day, right?
Right.
But yeah.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Good times. Absolutely. Well, I think this has been a great conversation with the great April Goodin. Can't wait to see where your future goes. You've been scaling up the Big Eye ladder, and I know they really appreciate you, and I'm sure you're going to be moving far. Maybe you'll be the head of the national Big Eye someday.
I don't know if I want to move.
April is like, I cannot wait to retire.
I just want to point out the fact that we do have a great team, like you mentioned before, and it's all the staff working together that makes everything function well, and the leadership that we have, on our board, that helps us make the decisions that we need to make, and what's the best thing for the agents, because they're the professionals, they're the ones out there, on the ground and dealing with. Exactly. Yeah.
Do they help a lot with guiding you on what is
absolutely?
Okay.
Yeah.
If I wanted to be part of the board or whatever, how would I do that?
It's kind of a regional thing. We have to pick a certain number. It's at least one person from each region. The state's divided up into 5 different regions,
Mhm.
and it's kind of hard to get volunteers these days,
Mhm.
believe it or not. But we're just out there always looking, I think, for somebody who's progressive in their agency, someone who is a professional who's already utilizing maybe some of the programs that we have because they already know about us and have a
Mhm.
little
Yeah.
bit of history. So it's and
If you
it's a
ever
kind of
need
a board
someone,
decision.
let me know.
I will try. Thank
All
you.
right, April. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, it was fun. It was super fun.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you again soon. When's the next big eye get together?
The next expo, the big one, the biggest one that we do is going to be in April at Mystic Lake again. So we moved it from May to
Nice.
April, early April. I believe it's on the 5th. I should have looked that up, but so yeah, we're looking forward to that. It'll be a great presentation. We still need to work out lots of details on it. It's not ready
Hey, do
yet.
you want David Carruthers to be part of it?
Send me his info, will you again?
Yeah,
I
because
think
this
I
is the
tucked it
time,
away,
right?
but let me know.
Yeah, I'll do that. He's part of Savvital now too, and
Oh,
he
that's
is
right.
he really brings down the house wherever he presents. He goes
Okay.
all around the country and specializes in mid market. His thing is killing commercial. So a little plug for David Carruthers. If anybody wants to learn how to
Okay.
kill mid market commercial insurance, he's your guy.
Yeah.
Just Google him.
Yeah.
He's very interactive too, so people have fun all the time when he's presenting. It's really great. It's really great.
Thanks
So
for the recommendation.
Yeah, I'll
no,
send that
no,
to
and
you.
I look forward to be there next year again. It was super fun. I love I've never been to Mystic Lake, so it was pretty amazing. The place was great, and the people was awesome. And we got
Yeah.
to see a lot of people that we usually interact online or like through LinkedIn and stuff like that. And it was really good to like at least shake the hand for the first time. So that was really great, and I think the theme killed it this year. I
Yeah.
think it was awesome. I think it was great.
I agree with you. It's so much more meaningful when you get to meet people in person and make that
Hmm.
connection versus Zoom and everything.
Yeah.
The theme for next year, just so you know, is Jurassic Park.
No way.
Oh,
So
I think Troy was hoping for like what is your favorite movie
Favorite movie?
that
Top
just
Gun.
came out? Top Gun.
Top Gun for sure. That'd be fun. But Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is really cool. Oh
someone
my
brought
God.
up the idea of superheroes, but I didn't think that people coming around in spandex would be a good idea.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, EPLI,
So funny.
right? But I guess people will be dressing as dinosaurs or little explorers and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yes. Yeah.
Whatever they
Probably a
want.
little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly. I gotta get a T-Rex.
We gotta get that outfit going. Halloween is around the corner, so we better
I've
get it this year.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty crazy dinosaur costumes that are hilarious. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Can't
so
wait.
funny. That's amazing. All right, April, thank you so much. And
Thanks,
we'll
you guys.
continue to talk and make sure that we are supporting the Big I, Minnesota. And I appreciate your time, which is extremely valuable to be here with us
Yes.
today.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Monica and
Appreciate
Troy.
it, April. Thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Bye-bye.